side. You can see you get the little clips lined up. Then just be firm but gentle. And then kind of lift up using the palm of your hand. Remember, there are no clips on the bottom, just screws. So come over here. Actually, I'll probably show you guys this with this. We got pretty good light here. You can see the clip down there. So we just take it. Little clip right here. No real force necessary, just firm but gentle. And lastly, we'll reinstall all of our screws, which you probably don't want to watch. It's not that exciting. Although I think I might want to show you how to do this because it'll be nice. So let's get these two done at least. And again, I should have mentioned this, but as soon as you install the speakers and get the door panel on the door, turn the car on real quick, make sure everything's playing. So just take a quick listen. I've done that, but make sure everything is good before we put it all back together. Don't audition anything because obviously just listening to two speakers isn't going to do anything, but just confirm operation, and then we'll audition later. This piece, I wouldn't call it tricky, but I think it's worth showing you how to do it. So we've got our clip here. You can see, it's probably better for you guys. I just take it. And you can see the seam perfectly lined up. You can feel in the bottom, perfectly lined up. It just snaps into place. So just when you're doing it, uniform pressure. Don't force anything, just firm but gentle. That's the key word today.
That's what she said.
Thank you, Mr. Michael Scott. You guys don't know it, but Michael Scott from the hit show The Office is behind the camera today. Wait, we might get sued for saying that. It's Bob Bedrosian. Guys, so here we are in the back door of the X5 or the X6, either way. The back doors actually come off exactly the same as the rear. So this pops off, two screws on the bottom. We're not going to waste your time. We know you got plenty of work to do. So we're going to get the door panel off exactly the same way as the front. We're going to meet you over on the bench. And there's a little differentiation here with the tweeters, as you can see. So we'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Guys, so we're here at the workspace, and again, you can see the mid-range attaches identically to the fronts. Again, just careful when you're removing it. And the tweeters, literally, they just snap in, just like the front sails. It's just in a slightly different way. So let me show you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the mid-range out. And then the tweeter, we take, you can literally just pry it out of there. Just these three little clips. That's all it is. Nothing complicated. As you see, it's exactly like the front. So got our BMW tweeter, got our factory tweeter. A little different, again, as you can see. So that being said, we take our BMW tweeter, snap it back into place, mount the BMW mid-range. Okay, we're not going to show you how to do all that. Again, it's just too straightforward. So this time, we're going to go ahead and plug the tweeter in to the housing, to the mid-range. So I want to do that, and then we'll take the little capacitor, and see, snap it in there like so. That's perfect. It's just beautiful. All right, so that's done, and of course we'll take this back over, plug this back in, and be done with the day. So it's just like the front, nothing complicated. I just want to show you how that tweeter snaps in there. So let's pause it here. Join you guys in the back hatch area, showing you how to remove the D pillars. So here we are, guys, in the back seat, the hatch rather, of the X5. This particular car is a hi-fi system. It's not the top hi-fi, so it does not have the additional mid-range and tweeter combo back here. However, we're going to show you how this panel comes off because that's the critical point of this video. The installation is identical to the rest of the car. You unbolt a screw, you unbolt the mid-range, bolt the new one in, snap out the factory tweeter, snap in the BMW tweeter. That part you can figure out. It's very straightforward. But the important thing is showing you how to get this panel off. And again, plastic panel removal tool. Make sure your hands are washed, especially if you've got a white interior, because you don't want to schmutz up the fabric. So plastic panel removal tool. You can see there's a nice gap up here. Actually, I like to get my fingers back there and just pull out. One more time. actually, the clip is back here. So just a firm, and then it's going to unhook like so. So you can see 1, 2, 3 clips, and this little slot here slots in right here. And actually, it's pretty cool. You can see here, there's 1, 2, and then up here, you can't see it, there's 3. That's where the third screw would be. So there are 3 screws that hold in the mid-range tweeter assembly. So you remove those guys, remove the whole assembly, do the swap on your workspace, put it back in, plug it back in. So this front lip, this female slide here, and you'll feel everything kind of align itself. Actually see that is nice and aligned. This will be in a moment. And then snap. Fold this up, snap, and it's, see the lines are perfect, everything is nice, snapped into place, and that's how you would perform that installation. So with the hatch area complete, we're going to move to the very front of the car, knock out the center channel, and finally enjoy our stage 1 speaker upgrade. Guys, so here we are up in the dash of our X5, also X6, going to be the same thing. There's a mid-range and a tweeter under here. We're going to replace those, of course. This piece, I just want to kind of, before we get started, it's very fragile, borderline brittle. Take extreme caution when prying this out of here. The good news, if you were to crack it, it's it's like $12 from the dealership. So it's not a big deal. Don't freak out if you do. If you do, hey, you know, we all make mistakes. You can pick up another piece. Even if your car's under lease, it doesn't matter. Just literally, it just snaps right back in. It's only held in by a few clips, but it's really, sometimes they're brittle, sometimes they're not, especially if it's a California car or it's in the sun all the time and your X5's now, you know, going on 4 years old. It might be more brittle than others. So we're going to start very slowly with this. You don't want to rush it. So we're going to kind of work around the edge very slowly. Maybe tighter at some spots than others. This one's actually being very nice. Super nice, even. We might actually have a party for this one. You can see, I don't know if you can see back there, I don't know how well the lighting is. There's one last clip there in the center that's hooked. And you can see how the clips actually are made. It's just little pieces of plastic that have a little edge on them that they can press. That's what we're doing. So let me get this last guy here in the front. Actually, I'm going to use my fingernails. Perfect. All right, so what might even help you is to see this. There are 6 points of attachment. So you'll want to pry carefully at those 6 points. So 1, 2, what that means is so you go. And again, use your fingers as often as you can. Always try to use your fingers because you have more control over them. So with that removed, voila, we've got our center channel. We've got our center tweeter. Now, I have this nifty little tool, and this does not come in your, actually it might in the updated toolkit. It depends on when you're watching this. It doesn't come with it. You're not going to have this exact tool, but you're going to have a tool that will accomplish the same thing. It's essentially a right angle driver, and we're going to unscrew. This is a pretty fancy getup I have here. Yours is going to be a lot more straightforward, if you will. So there are 4 screws holding this whole assembly in. You can buy a right angle driver at a hardware store for a couple bucks. This one's just super duper snap-on fancy, which you don't need. So we get these 3, and there's one more here. Use the eyes on the end of my finger. All right, so again, be very cautious of the windshield. No sudden movements. Now, this whole housing simply lifts out, as you can see. And again, this is where you want to be really careful. Protect the windshield, and then you'll unplug it like so. So with our center channel assembly here on the workspace, it's very straightforward, the removal process. Again, it's just like everything else. We're going to pry the tweeter out of its housing. In this case, the mid-range is already loose in the housing because it's secured to the dash itself. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to unplug the tweeter. We take the mid-range. You can see it kind of lift up and kind of twist out of the housing, like so. And the tweeter, just like all the rest of them, this one's got a little glue. So there are 3 secure points. 1, 2, 3. So all I like to do is just pry a little bit, like so. Tweeter snaps right out. Pull the little crossover assembly out. And again, here is our BMW tweeter, which, just like the factory tweeter, only 1,000 times better in terms of sound quality, snaps right back in. Make sure you get all the lips in there. Snap. Snappy, snappy, snap. That one's not in yet. Let's look and see here. There's a little schmutz. It's got a little excess glue here. Sometimes you gotta pry that glue out of the way. Tweeter. There, that time it snapped right in perfectly. Okay, so the new tweeter snapped into place. We'll take our new BMW mid-range. It's like the factory one. Just kind of twists into place, like so. See, it lines up perfectly. We'll take the back side. Not forget, plug our tweeter in. Take our capacitor down in the little magic area. So we kind of got everything secure like that. Then we'll take the whole housing, plug it right back in the center channel area, reattach everything, and we'll do all that because there's nothing exciting about it. I'm going to show you guys how to reattach the grill. So that's that. It's done. You know what you may want to do? Some people, I'm one of those people actually, it wouldn't kill you to dab a couple little drops of glue. It's snapped in there very securely, but BMW added a little glue. I might add a little glue. If you don't have any around, not a big deal. If you do, a couple little dabs just on the little plastic tabs to keep it in there. I mean, you can see right now I'm pulling on it and it doesn't come out. So just a little piece of advice. So let's join you guys back in there, finish this up, and start enjoying our Stage 1 upgrade. So we've reinstalled the driver and the tweeter assembly back into the dash. I wanted to show you guys how to evenly apply pressure on this grill so as not to snap it or anything like that. So again, clean hands, especially if you've got a beige or gray. I don't think any of these dashes are gray, but they might be beige. Anyway, take your hands firmly but gently. Start the process. You guys, I hope actually you did just see that. You saw how flexible this is. Done. So just again, don't hit it, don't flex it, just even firm pressure, and don't put any pressure down on this grill because it is brittle. So stay as close to this edge as possible because it's reinforced. So now that we've completed the installation portion of the project, it's time to sit back, enjoy the Stage 1, and catch you guys again in the future on the next video.